I am trading in my Pixel 7. I'm super excited about the video that we're going to be making today. It's been a long time coming, but I cannot wait to break it down for you because this is my 3-month review of the Pixel 7. So here's a quick refresh on the specs on the Pixel 7. My unit came with 128 gigs of storage. It has wireless charging, great cameras, all of the good stuff. If you want to know more in depth on what the phone actually is like when you first get it, go check out my previous video of the Pixel 7. This phone was people's favorite all in 2022. It was even my favorite in 2022. All this was great up until 2 months ago. Let me rewind for a bit. When I got this phone, I was super amped about a better screen, better fingerprint reader, better battery experience. The little incremental changes they made from this Pixel 6 to the Pixel 7 made a world of difference to me. The phone is a breeze to use. Everything is smooth and responsive. I enjoy playing a good game every once in a while, and even the battery doesn't threaten to blow me up to 10 or so minutes of playtime. Pro tip, not wise to game while your phone is charging. Doesn't bode well for you or your phone. Using this phone was such a good experience, especially because of the size. The 6.2-inch display really did make it much easier to handle. Not that it is easy to handle now, but it's a step in the right direction. The cameras on this phone are great. I enjoy filming stuff that's all around me just for kicks. The camera seems to handle photos in all sorts of conditions. Pictures in the daylight, pictures in low light. I mean, even astrophotography, which I've only just started to get into, is also pretty dope. Portrait mode at nighttime is also really great, as you can tell in some of these shots. Now, you may be wondering why, after all of this praise, why I would actually be hesitant about this phone. Here's the thing. Everything was going so well for me up until 2 months ago. Let me break it down for you. Here's how the whole thing started. About a month and a half ago, I started experiencing Wi Fi issues. It would just drop in and out from time to time. No explanation why. I actually thought it was my service provider that was dropping the ball, and I would call several times to complain about it. But then it got weird because I checked my computer and my computer wasn't having any Wi Fi issues. So then I started thinking, okay, this is a small issue. I didn't even really think much about it. But then the next thing started happening. My calls just started dropping for no reason. I could be on the phone talking to someone, and then I would realize that they're not talking back. The phone was cut off a long time ago. And it just happens over and over again. And I'm like, is it my network that's really bad? And I still did not believe it. I didn't want to believe anything was wrong with the phone. I just assumed it was a network issue yet again. But then the whole thing gets even worse. Bluetooth went to hell as well. My phone stopped recognizing my watch, my Pixel Buds. It would actually pop up and say, yeah, you have Pixel Buds, but we cannot connect to them. You have Pixel Buds, but it won't play. You're connected to your Pixel Buds, but there's no sound coming out of them. The whole thing made no sense. At this point, I knew something was definitely off, but I still wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. Here's where I finally drew the line, and probably no one actually believed this. For full context, I have been using my Pixel phones as dual SIM phones for a very long time now. I started with the Pixel 3a XL, I've been doing it with the Pixel 6, and I'm doing it with the Pixel 7. I have a physical SIM in, but I also have a downloaded eSIM on the phone as well. Now, the phone stopped recognizing out of the blue, like literally one day I woke up and it just wasn't there. The second SIM card, the eSIM, just wasn't there at all. Now, the physical SIM which was there, it seemed to be okay. I was texting, I was receiving calls, but was still dropping. But at the same time, I'm having Wi Fi issues, but then the phone won't also let me use the data on the physical SIM card. So if I left the house, I basically had no internet connection whatsoever because the data on my phone is not there. The second SIM card doesn't exist at all. The phone was just absolute trash in that moment. There was literally nothing I could do about it. So I call up the little elves up at Google and I tell them like, hey guys, something is wrong with the phone. So they tell me, oh, well, let's try some debugging, stuff, go into the developer settings and then send us this report or something like that. I did it like 3 times. They got back to me like in 2 weeks and they were like, yo, I mean, we can't figure it out. Why don't you just try doing like a factory reset and see how that goes? You know what? I'm gonna do it. I mean, what else do I have to lose? The phone isn't working right now. I mean, it's barely usable. So what else can I do? I said, okay, you know what? Let me just do the factory reset, which by the way is a pain in the ass to do, especially if you have those password issue things. Don't do it. Anyway, I reset the phone and it's working perfectly. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nothing. The whole thing goes to shit again. I it blows my mind because I don't know what went wrong. I don't know what's happening with the phone. I call up the little elves up in the Google workshop and I tell them, guys, something is definitely wrong with this phone. They're like, okay, you know what? We don't know how to fix this thing, which brings me to the conclusion I have to trade in the phone. They literally told me, you know what? Let's just send you a new unit and then hopefully shit goes well. I went online and I started typing in Pixel 7 network issues, only to realize there's like a whole Reddit thread about it. A lot of other people have been experiencing it, but it's not a big enough issue. I guess it hasn't bothered a wider community of people for it to get as much attention as it should, really, because for something like this to keep happening to you, then you're going to be left in like a bit of a tight situation. Because right now I still have two numbers connected to my phone, but one of the numbers I can't receive messages at all. So if you're like me who has like two-factor authentication, for text messaging, I'm basically stuck. I can't even get into like 3, 4, 5 accounts of mine right now. So the plan is to just wait it out and then order for the new phone, get it swapped out and then see how that goes. I just happen to be one of those lucky, let me say, unlucky schmucks who got stuck with one of the defective units. But yeah, that's what it's been like to use this phone for the past 3 months. It was perfect technology for that first month, and then everything after that has been in the toilet. So I mean, there you have it, guys. I don't know what else to say. If you had the same situation as I have, please leave it in the comments and tell me how you fixed it. And if you haven't had it and you're still thinking about getting this phone, I don't know. Can I recommend it now? Genuinely don't know. It seems like not many people have had this issue with their phones, so maybe your unit is perfect. But if it isn't, call up the elves at the workshop and see what they can do for you. But that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I hope.